All right, Shalom. Good morning, boys. Here, welcome to the Covenant. Well, we can clearly see the moral decline that's taking place in this country. I mean, we're just seeing it. It's just manifesting right before our eyes. We have Trump issuing executive orders to send in the National Guard to major cities to deal with the epidemic of crime that's happening in the cities. And where do you think the crime is taking place? All of these democratic cities where these failed mayors are claiming that the crime stats are going down when they're really going up. It really is sad. But what I wanted to talk about in particular today was scams and how so many people are falling for so many scams. Give you a perfect example. This guy, Dr. Umar Johnson, talk about opening up an FDMG or Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy School. And he's scammed people over the past 10, 15 years out of hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations. And I was watching the Philip Scott show, and he was saying how he did a video 10 years ago exposing this guy. Like, there's never going to be a school. But people fell for it. Now, the idea is that, I have an uncanny ability or a knack to look at someone, listen to them speak, and be able to decipher bullshit, literal bullshit, from truth. I have that level of discernment at this point in time in my life. And I saw it back then. I guess, being from New York, and I've said this over and over again. You can see a bullshit and a scammer from a mile away. They're not hard to spot. But when you have the dumbing down of society, the high fructose corn syrup, the aspartame, the fluoride, the GMO food, now the bioengineered food, now the COVID vaccines, you have all of this stuff piled up on one another. It prevents people from thinking straight. This is why it's so important to learn how to grow your own food and purchase organic or clean food as best as you can. If you're looking at a label and it has 10,000 ingredients that you can't understand, chances are you don't want to buy that product. But the problem that we're having today is the dumbing down of society. And when you have people that are so dumbed down, they're easy to get taken advantage of. They're easy to get took. Let me tell you something. If somebody's offering you some type of utopia or offering you some type of free ride or if it sounds too good to be true, the age-old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So a guy gets scammed out of $200,000 of his money on a date now, and the reporters go and they're interviewing him, and you can tell that this guy, not only is he living an alternative lifestyle, but he's slow. Another woman scammed out of her money, thinking that she's going to get a nice apartment. Again, you look at the details, too good to be true. You even got scammers that are stupid, going in to banks trying to cash $50,000 and $45,000 and $35,000 checks. One thing you ain't gonna run a scam on unless you a Bernie Madoff type level stuff, and that stuff is all condoned. You ain't gonna run no scam on no bank. Nor can you hustle. It's like the old age state. You can't hustle a hustler. You can't scam a scammer. You know what I'm saying? You can't do these things. But you can't scam or hustle a person that is well aware of what's going on. If you don't have a foundation which is based on truth and living truth and understanding truth from lies and lack the spirit of discernment, you're always going to fall for the bait and switch. Because see, once you got. And it's gotten to a point where you're listening to all these people get up on news cameras and stuff and talking about they were scammed and they were deceived, and it's getting to the point in time where it's just hard to feel anything. This is what I'm experiencing personally. It's really hard to feel for these people because they've allowed themselves to believe in something for nothing, the bait and switch. They've allowed themselves to believe in something, and they lack self-autonomy. They lack the ability to think. Just like the Messiah said, the poor will always be with us. There's always going to be people that are getting hoodwinked and scammed out of their money, their property, their livelihood. And at the end of the day, nobody ain't seeing. You ain't getting nothing back. It is what it is. Once you get took, you get took. It is what it is. It's sad. It really is unfortunate. But this is the world that we live in. Pray for the spirit of discernment out there, folks. Because, I agree. Hindsight is always 20/20. And I've been in situations where I wasn't scammed, but I believed something that wasn't necessarily true, went along with it, and got bit. I mean, hey, it happens from time to time. But overall, I am fortunate enough to have avoided the big fish, the big kahunas. I tell you, man. It's a difference kind of scam when you link up with somebody on Facebook Marketplace and you open up the packaging, it's broken or something. They said it wasn't, and getting scammed out $100,000 of your money. It's a different kind of hit, but it's unfortunate. But it's the reality of today. Everybody getting took today, and nobody's aware until after it happens.